Hello everyone and welcome back to another 3v3 fastest map possible on StarCraft Brood Wars Remastered. Just having so much fun, I'm going to try to get in as many as I can today. So let's go ahead and jump into replay number 145. This is from September 13th of 2018, almost 7 years ago. So we'll see what we have got. Alright, in the top left corner, we have the yellow Terran, Oilo, and then on his team, in the bottom left corner, Raging Death, the red Zerg, and then also on their team in the bottom right corner is Ralphie88. So you've got a Terran Zerg Protoss team. You always love to see that. That's one of my favorite things. If you've watched my channel before, you know that. And then the other team, NZ Mentor up here in the top middle, that is the orange Terran. Then we've got Legionnaire, the blue Zerg in the top right corner. So they're together. And then all the way over here in the middle left is Zang the Drunk. Oh, that is amazing. What a name. He is the purple Protoss. So it's Protoss, Zerg, Protoss versus Protoss, Terran, Zerg. So we'll see what happens. I don't see any early cannon rushes, but we do see an early Zerg rush. Alright, so there's only one Zealot. He just bypasses it. There are a lot of gateways here. They're going to be able to really quickly get things up here. He's trying to go for the probes. He might get a few here. Good job by Blue, sort of microing. He does get a few probes. Not bad. Alright, so actually a Zerg that doesn't sit around and just macro up. Someone who's doing some early pressure. You really love to see that. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a quick APM check as we check out what Purple is doing. We see the only two people above 100 are NZ Mentor and Ralphie. NZ Mentor, the number one guy here. The Terran, 130. And then there's some people that are flirting with 100 here as well, and then some people really lagging behind. If we're looking at, it's pretty even in terms of average, so it's interesting to see what happens. Alright, so Brown is moving in on Zang the Drunk here. He doesn't have too much, but he's got just enough to dissuade that. Orange and brown now moving in on yellow. So trying to keep an eye on everything on the minimap to make sure I'm not missing anything. Alright, so yellow, realizing he's in a bad spot, gets into the bunker, has a couple of Marines to help, but it's not going to be nearly enough. This could be a bad spot here. He's going to really have to get that bunker repaired, but he's not doing it at all. Oh my, this could be bad news for yellow. Good job by orange and whoever this other guy, we got Brown. Really, really good job to just sort of move in on that guy. All right, so he's done. So we're already immediately at a 3v2, but it's early in this, I believe, 17-minute game. So this should be very interesting to see how the rest of this goes. All right, so Red is the other guy. He's been able to sit down here and get himself going. So he's got 22 drones. He's starting to get going. And then also Brown down here. Brown got their second base. He's got some gateways. He's starting to build in the middle of the map here. Zang the Drunk, sort of drunkenly walking around. Alright, so Red putting a little bit of pressure on Orange while Orange was gone. And they're trying to handle that. Okay. Alright, so they're keeping him honest here. So Brown's just trying to kind of keep them contained here. He's got some zealots. He's got some cannons. He's continuing to just sort of get his... You can see another base down here in the corner. So getting his economy going. I mean, with zealot support, these cannons should hold. In the meantime, Red can also continue to get going. He's getting his lair up, getting more hatcheries. There's the Hydralisk Den. What you really want to see is some upgrades. All right, so you see, let's go ahead and do a quick upgrade check. We're at 6 minutes, so we should see them rolling in. So here's Orange with Stim Pack. We're not really seeing anything else because of the early aggression. All right, so here we go. Orange, Blue. They've gotten themselves stabilized and going. Alright, Brown continuing to build the cannons to try to, like, keep him at bay, but these factories are going to come out soon and really make this moot. And Zhang the Drunk, not really doing too much of anything. Lowest APM in the game. He is getting units out, though. That's what you really like to see, but for a game that's at a standstill, you'd like to see him macro up a little bit more. So this is definitely a game where you probably would get a chance to macro up now that it's 3v2. Alright, Blue over here, starting to get things going, but nothing too scary. He doesn't even have the upgrade speed on the Zerglings, so that's not really going to make too much of a difference. We see Orange getting some upgrades with attack range and infantry weapons. Red also getting now Zergling speed. Something I'm surprised Blue is not doing, considering he's getting a lot of Zerglings. Alright, so let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Not really much happening at the moment. This team that's ahead is being very conservative all of a sudden. Alright, so he does now have a tank, but not immediately moving out on this. Alright, now he decides to. Alright, this is where things are going to get a little bit hairy for the team on the bottom. So the thing that's nice is that they're right next to each other too. So Red and Brown are down there hanging out with one another. Alright, so hopefully this was what... Yep, and this all this did was buy time for Brown. Really nice job. Alright, so now he's going to be able to really ramp things up. You see his production tab is going crazy, getting weapons going. Red also getting himself going. He's getting Hydralisk out. You always love to be in that spot if you are a Zerg. That's another lair. He's got a Spire going. Alright. So Brown kind of building behind... Okay, here comes some Lurkers. So they're kind of just building down into it. You'd really love to see Zhang just come in and try to put some pressure here. He's allowing them to get set up with Lurkers in the middle, which is going to be tough to take out. He also doesn't have any detection. Luckily, Orange gets the Science Vessel. That's going to be absolutely huge. Brown over here, or Blue over here, finally getting Hydralisk going. But he feels a little bit behind as well. Alright, so here come the Lurkers. Orange does have the Science Vessel, so these might be in not at the best spot. They're still going to be hard to get to. Yeah, I would try to go for that if I were them. Alright, so this is a little bit precarious of a spot here. I think the best thing that they could do right now is to move in together on Orange. I don't know if they would even succeed if they did that. Alright, so he's got one's weapons. He's bringing guys in. Orange doing a really good job sort of methodically moving into the middle of the map. He's got ones on his attack for Marines. Oh, the stim packs come in. Here come the Lurkers doing a little bit of damage, but once he repositions these tanks, they're going to go down. Alright, here comes the Scourge. Oh, they're trying really hard to take out these Science Vessels. That's hilarious. Really smart, though. Alright, so now Brown just sort of making a mad dash for the tanks. Good job sort of focusing them down. Don't want to do it too much, though. Oh, man, these Marines. And Firebats are really doing work with the medic support. Oh, there's some Lurkers. Here comes Hydralisk. Oh, Oh, the science vessel goes down. Really nice job by Red to go for those science vessels with the Scourge. There's another one that pops out, though. But now they're kind of pressing in on Orange. He had a big army, but he doesn't have a ton to build behind. Ooh, he's in trouble. I don't know what Blue's doing. Or finally, Blue decides to move in. He doesn't have speed or upgrades on anything. Oh my goodness, he's getting Carapace upgrades, but this is not going to be enough to deal with Brown. He's got updates. All right, here comes Zhang the Conqueror. Oh, and these cannons and these lurkers are really doing damage to this guy. Oh my goodness, he's walking right into them. Oh, Zhang. That's why you got to have detectors, buddy. That was a drunk play by Zhang. All right, so they're moving in on Orange. All right, so Blue is able to save the day there with help from Purple. But man, oh man, they have got to be shaken in their boots now. Okay, here comes Brown again with more units. Showing relentlessness. Blue is really starting to get going now, though. This guy's got a lot of units, and he's thinking about doing some drops, it looks like. So we'll keep our eye on that. Alright, here comes Blue trying to press out in the middle. Purple now might be in a little bit of trouble. They have built out a little bit. Oh, no, he's done a good job, actually, building out. But he might be in a little bit of trouble here. Ooh, there come a big bunch of Dragoons. That might save the day. Alright, so here comes a big press from Purple and Orange and Blue. So they're pressing to the middle, but what does this mean in the meantime? Alright, here come Guardians, as well as Mutalisks. We're also keeping our eyes on possible drops. Here it comes. Alright, so in the meantime, Red's moving out, trying to take out some of these Dragoons with some Zerglings. Oh, the Zerglings. Oh, look, he's putting a shield on the Dragoon. I don't think I've ever seen that before in game. Alright, so he does have this drop set, but he's just trying... I think he's just like... I think I could just move command these guys where I need them to go. Yeah, he's got ones across the board. This guy doesn't have upgrades on his Hydra lists. That's going to be the difference, really. Alright, so these Zerglings are getting in on the mech. Here comes Dragoons to help out. Oh, who knew Zerglings would be the thing that would be the change here? Alright, Purple's kind of cutting him off, but now the Guardians come in on Purple. So Brown fighting it on Orange. Red really putting a lot of pressure on Purple. Oh no, all these Guardians. And with the Zergling support, this might be all she wrote for Purple. Blue's just sort of sitting there for a minute. Alright, now he's getting some units out. Alright, he's down to 25 workers. We must have missed a storm of some kind that happened. He must have finally thrown that drop. I wonder if we could go... You know what, we're going to go back just a smidge and see if we can catch that drop. Because I know that is what happened. That's the only reason why Blue isn't just really ramping out workers. Alright, so they're moving in. I remember... Alright, so we're keeping our eye on that drop. Alright, so here it comes. I don't quite know where he's taking it. Looks like he's going to take it onto Purple. Oh, and he gets Purple with it as well. So while Purple's getting attacked, he gets dropped by Brown, who's also attacking Orange at the same time. And we must have missed a drop over here again. I'm not going to go all the way back to see what kind of drop was landed on Blue. But with only 25 workers, you've got to imagine that he was attacked there. Oh my goodness, what an absolute domination. And the 3v2, and I mean, Orange really looked like he was sort of slowly and steadily making his way through to the middle of the map to, like, you know, threaten Brown. But really good job by these guys. Look at this base. Tons of hatcheries, 85 workers. Brown's got 93 workers. The upgrades. Let's check out the Hydralisks. They're at 2-1. These guys are at 1-1, but no plasma shield upgrades. And then Blue finally getting carapace on his, but couldn't handle what these two were bringing to the table. I mean, really, really impressive. And Zhang the Drunk taps out. He'll have himself another beer and wonder how he let a 3v2 slip away. Oh my goodness, what a game by Brown and Red. That is one of the better replays that I've seen, my goodness. Wow, what a play, what a game. Red producing 535 units. And it was really resources too. They really get ramped up their resources. They were winning in that regard. They were pumping out more units than these guys. Blue kind of had a chance, but then I guess Brown dropped on him. I missed. That was the only thing I really missed in the game was that drop. Or maybe he just didn't get more drones. You never know. I don't really know what happened there. But what a game, folks. But anyways, thanks for joining me. That'll be the last one for the night for sure. But I'll try to get some out later this week. Enjoy your week. Happy Monday. We'll make it through the week, don't you worry. And I'll catch you on the next replay, guys.